Imagine a winter so cold the sea freezes and snowdrifts bury entire houses. This wasn't a disaster movie. It was Britain in the winter of 1963, the infamous Big Freeze. For 10 relentless weeks from late December 1962 to March 1963, the UK was locked in ice and snow. Temperatures plunged to -20 degrees Celsius, rivers like the Thames froze solid, and snowdrifts in places reached over 20 feet. Life ground to a halt. Power lines collapsed, roads and railways vanished, and entire towns were cut off. People faced daily battles for warmth, food, and survival. Yet, in the face of hardship, the British spirit shone through. In this video, we'll uncover why the blizzard was so severe, how people survived, and what lessons it holds for us today. The past, after all, holds vital clues for our future.
The Big Freeze wasn't just bad luck. It was a perfect storm of meteorological forces, a massive high-pressure system, or blocking anticyclone parked over Scandinavia, shutting out the usual mild Atlantic air. Instead, bitterly cold winds from Siberia swept in, dropping temperatures and turning any moisture into snow. The real disaster struck when this cold air collided with a moist front from the southwest, unleashing a blizzard that buried southern England, the Midlands, and Wales. The anticyclone refused to budge for 10 weeks, ensuring the cold and snow never let up. Any brief thaw was quickly erased by another freeze, turning slush to ice and locking the country in winter's grip. It was a rare, relentless weather pattern Britain hadn't seen in centuries. Christmas 1962 brought a postcard-perfect snowfall, blanketing the UK in a serene white layer that seemed to promise a peaceful holiday season. However, the real storm hit on Boxing Day, catching many by surprise as the gentle snow turned into a fierce blizzard. Heavy snow swept south, and by December 29th, a blizzard driven by gale-force winds engulfed half the country, creating chaos and confusion. Villages in Devon and Cornwall vanished under drifts. Entire communities were swallowed by the relentless snow. In Kent, snow piled 20 feet high. Roads and railways disappeared beneath the white mass, cars were abandoned, and travel became impossible. Entire communities were cut off. Trains froze to tracks, airports shut down, and the nation came to a standstill. Even harbors iced over, trapping ships and halting maritime activities. Emergency services were overwhelmed as thousands found themselves stranded, struggling to reach those in need. For the first time in a generation, Britain was isolated, sometimes even from the next village, as snowdrifts blocked all paths. When the blizzard finally eased, the landscape was unrecognizable. Dazzling white, eerily silent and bitterly cold, a stark contrast to the usual bustling life. The snow had stopped, but the deep freeze was just beginning, leaving the nation to grapple with the harsh conditions. The nation faced a new reality, survival in a frozen world where warmth and resources were scarce. The Big Freeze had truly begun, marking a historic winter that would be remembered for generations. As the freeze deepened, daily life became a relentless test of endurance and resilience. Streets disappeared beneath towering drifts, and every journey outside became a battle against biting winds and blinding snow. With coal deliveries halted, families huddled in their kitchens, wrapped in layers of coats and blankets, blocking every draft with rags and towels. The cold crept in through every crack, making even the simplest tasks a struggle. Food supplies dwindled as shops emptied and deliveries stopped. People relied on whatever was left in their pantries, rationing every meal and making do with what little they had. Milkmen and bakers couldn't reach homes, so farmers braved the elements, using tractors or even skiing for miles to deliver essentials to those cut off by the snow. Pipes froze and burst, flooding homes with icy water, while pavements turned to treacherous sheets of ice. Many elderly people became prisoners in their own homes, unable to risk a step outside. For children, the snow was an endless playground, a magical world of snowmen and sledges. But for farmers, it was a nightmare. Livestock trapped beneath drifts, fodder running out, and the constant fear of loss. Operation Snowdrop saw helicopters flying over white fields, dropping hay to stranded animals and vital supplies to isolated farms, a lifeline for those completely cut off. Every day brought new challenges, but also stories of ingenuity and grit, families improvising ways to stay warm, neighbors banding together to dig out paths and share what little they had. Survival depended not just on resourcefulness, but on the kindness and help of neighbors. Communities came together, sharing food, warmth, and hope. The Big Freeze tested everyone to their limits, but it also brought out the very best in people, proving that even in the harshest conditions, the human spirit endures, and communities can shine brightest in the darkest times. Amid the hardship, community spirit became Britain's greatest asset. Neighbors checked on each other, shared food and fuel, and cleared paths for the vulnerable. Volunteer groups formed to dig out roads and deliver medicine. The Women's Royal Voluntary Service organised hot meals for those trapped at home. In cut-off villages, residents pooled resources and rationed supplies to ensure no one went hungry. Teenagers ran errands and cleared snow, while those with vehicles ferried doctors and supplies. This wasn't government mandated, it was ordinary people stepping up. The crisis broke down barriers and built lasting bonds. The camaraderie and kindness became the true legacy of the Big Freeze. The government, led by Prime Minister Harold Macmillan, was initially unprepared for the scale of the crisis. Local councils and emergency services led the first response, but soon a national effort was needed. The armed forces were deployed, soldiers delivered supplies, engineers cleared roads, and helicopters rescued the stranded. Power cuts were introduced to conserve dwindling fuel, and financial aid supported local relief efforts. The government worked to keep food and fuel moving, but the response wasn't perfect. Critics pointed to slow coordination and exposed weaknesses in infrastructure. Still, the combined efforts of military, local authorities, and the public saw Britain through. The crisis revealed both the strengths and vulnerabilities of a modern nation. It was a wake-up call for future preparedness. The winter of 1963 stands in stark contrast to today's milder, wetter winters. Back then, the UK was gripped by relentless snow and ice for months, with temperatures plunging far below freezing. Streets were buried, rivers froze, and daily life ground to a halt. Today, our winters are generally shorter and less severe, with snow often replaced by rain and dampness. Climate change means prolonged deep freezes are rare, and our homes are now better insulated and heated. Central heating and double glazing keep us warm, and energy efficiency is a priority. In 1963, many families relied on coal fires and drafty windows, making it much harder to stay comfortable indoors. Modern transport networks and weather forecasting help us prepare for snow, and technology keeps us connected. We receive instant weather alerts on our phones, and snowplows clear roads quickly, minimizing disruption. In contrast, in 1963, forecasts were less accurate, and travel was often impossible for days. But we're more reliant on just-in-time supply chains and electricity. Disruptions could empty shelves and cut off heat and communication faster than in 1963. Our dependence on technology and rapid delivery means that even a short interruption can have widespread effects, leaving many unprepared. The generation of 1963 was used to hardship and community reliance. Today, we're more individualistic and less accustomed to severe disruption. Neighbors once banded together to dig out streets and share supplies, while now many face challenges alone, relying on digital solutions rather than personal connections. While technology has made us more resilient in some ways, it's also made us more vulnerable in others. Power cuts or network failures can leave us isolated, unable to access information or contact loved ones, highlighting new risks that didn't exist decades ago. The Big Freeze reminds us that resilience isn't just about infrastructure, it's about people. Community spirit, resourcefulness, and looking out for one another were vital in 1963, and they remain just as important today. Our greatest strength remains our ability to adapt and support each other. Whether through volunteering, sharing resources, or simply checking on neighbors, human connection is key to weathering any storm. The lessons of 1963 are more relevant than ever. As we face new climate challenges, remembering how communities coped in the past can inspire us to build a more resilient future. Are we truly prepared for the next big freeze? It's a question worth asking, as history shows that nature can still surprise us, and our best defense is working together. The Big Freeze of 1963 is a powerful lesson in preparation. It showed how quickly life can be disrupted and why every home should have emergency supplies. Our infrastructure is stronger now, but climate change brings new threats: floods, storms, and heat waves. We must keep investing in resilient power, transport, and communication systems. Reliable information is crucial. Official channels must provide clear, accurate updates to prevent confusion. Most importantly, community connections matter. Neighbors helping neighbors was the front line in 1963, and it's just as vital today. Technology helps, but nothing replaces human kindness and vigilance. Building strong communities before a crisis is the best preparation. The past teaches us resilience is local, practical, and personal. The Big Freeze finally ended in March, but its legacy endures. It's remembered not just for hardship, but for the strength and spirit it revealed. The winter humbled a modern nation, reminding us of nature's power and our own vulnerability. Yet it also showed the power of community, small acts of kindness that held society together. The crisis stripped life to its essentials: warmth, food, and human connection. The true message of 1963 is timeless. Our greatest strength is compassion and solidarity. As we face new challenges, the story of the Big Freeze warns us to be prepared and inspires us to work together. Technology and infrastructure matter, but resilience is built on human values. By learning from the past, we can face the future's storms with confidence. Together we are strongest, no matter how cold the world becomes.